IVM.
Welcome to the Fighting G.O.A.T. This is episode 46. You're listening to the voice of Arjun Chipalkatti, aka Mystic Chips, and Somesh, the Superhuman Kamra. We've got an action-packed episode for you, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Advertising is Dead, Varun talks to the co-founder of Sleepy Owl Coffee, Arman Sood, about how he markets coffee to a generation that was raised on drinking tea. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav narrates an intriguing story that connects Shimla, rare books, and the American Declaration of Independence. On Agla Station Adulthood, meet writer Priyam Saha. She tells Ritasha and Ayushi about the overly romanced concept of life in the city. On a show about crypto, Rohan figures out what Web 3.0 is with the co-founder of Vault, Darshan Patija. And on Smarter with Sid, Siddharth takes us through the journey of the BlackBerry and what its future is. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms you're listening to us on. And you can also check us out on YouTube. You can have a list of all of our shows at ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda and CoinSwitch Kuber.
Welcome back to the Fighting G.O.A.T. You're listening to Arjun Chipalkatti, aka Mystic Chips, and Somesh Kamra, who is currently enjoying, currently we both are in Bombay, the city of Mumbai, and enjoying the awesome winter where I saw, by the way, my dream came true. I saw a girl in Yari Road who was wearing a trench coat. I saw it.
Well, that you would see in October also, yeah.
No, but I think I saw my producer Surohini wearing one. She says she's from Jaipur and she can take the cold, but I saw her wearing leather jacket and all and sitting near Costa Coffee on the road and all that. I was like, but abhi to 26 degree hai, to bhi leather jacket.
Oh man, speaking of 26 degree, I think there was a census that just came out and it said 2008, sometime in February, early February.
Or 2012, I think.
The temperature was 8 degrees in Mumbai.
Ganta.
I swear, it was 8 degrees in
fridge ka
Mumbai.
temperature liya hoga. Good. Firstly, hang on. I would, as sketchy as our weather department is, I think in 2008, it was even sketchier. This is before Google. So I don't know what they did. I really don't know what they did to give those numbers. I don't trust it. It's only after 2015 I start trusting it a little bit. Google aaya tha na tab tak.
Oh my God, right. But speaking of which, I hope the listeners are enjoying the beautiful weather. It's been a very, very long break from the world of mixed martial arts and the UFC.
Weeks. And
4
boxing.
weeks. We were out of action for 4 weeks. We were deprived of combat greatness in these 4 weeks, especially after the entire year of 2021 has been such a banger, where the UFC, Bellator, One Championship have put on some of the best events.
Not to mention boxing, dude. Showtime boxing.
Absolutely.
Has put on Canelo Alvarez has been on a tear. We've seen great matches between Deontay Wilder and the Gypsy King. We've seen matches throughout. We've seen some amazing knockouts.
That's right.
All aspects of the sport. And that's actually going to be our central topic of the day. We're going to be discussing, Somesh and I are going to be discussing our favorite knockouts. In no particular order. And as we always say, guys, that if you have missed out on anything, come join in the conversation on social media and come tell us about your knockouts for your chance to win super merchandise like t-shirts and stuff, or this hoodie which I got, which I found in my cupboard, which I have not worn for 5 years. I took it out of the plastic bag today because I said, sharam karo, thoda sa abhi acha weather hai, 19 degree tha. I said, hoodie pehenna chahiye na. And I also wanted to do the 8 Mile look and all, which I wanted to sit like this and talk about the knockouts. Yes.
Well, I wish the listeners can see this gentleman who's dressed in his hoodie, and he is absolutely ready to rock the board. But speaking of which, Chips, are you really excited that the UFC is back this week?
I am excited that the UFC is back. It's like being away from a girlfriend for so long, because after the first week you're like, acha hua, chal thoda sa break mila. And it's nice. I love you, baby, but still, 1 week is good. Hang with the boys, do nothing, have a few beers on the weekend. After week number 2, you're like, okay, I actually
what's next?
Abhi kya? By week 3, you're like, अरे कब आएगी बाबा? अरे मैंने से करा बहुत हो गया. Week 4, you're like, अभी तू look, I'm ready. I went to the gym. I brushed my teeth. Wait, I'm coming.
Well, very, very true.
No, but in this off time, you can see a lot of the fraternity has been having a good time as well. They're still on holiday. There are videos of Canelo Alvarez in nightclubs getting drunk and doing karaoke. I swear to God, he was drunk and he was doing karaoke on top. And I don't think the bar enjoyed it. It was not. The worst thing, it was not a karaoke night. Who's going to tell Canelo?
So you can't do much.
Dude, who is going to tell Canelo saying, hey, bhai, mic de wapas? Who's going to do that, dude? He's Canelo fucking Alvarez, man. Nobody's going to do anything to him. And then you got Conor McGregor walking shirtless with his posse everywhere. And he's looking like a light heavyweight.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
In hot news, though, in a tweet that was sent yesterday, was Alexander Volkanovski having a bite of his pizza saying, lightweight, ?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is he teasing something?
He will. I hope our producer will put up that tweet here to show you. It just says lightweight ? That's it. And him going up from featherweight to lightweight will not be too hard. It's a matter of 5 pounds. So 10 pounds, sorry. So it's going up in weight. In fact, he might take some time out and do it right.
Absolutely, yes. In fact, for most of the listeners here, if they don't know, Volkanovski was a rugby player and he used to weigh 230 pounds.
Shit, damn. He was fat
when he used to play rugby. So, I mean, different sports need a different body type.
But to come down from 220 to come down from 220 to 135. Sorry, to 145. 135 is bantam. I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
To featherweight at 145, to come down that much weight is a task in itself. Man.
Absolutely, yes. But he's done it so effectively. And it's quite sad that his fight with Max Holloway has been called off. But
Max.
But the Korean Zombie has stepped in.
Has he stepped in yet?
Yes.
We don't know.
Yes. In fact, the Korean Zombie has stepped in. Both of them have verbally agreed to fight each other. It's happening, if I'm not mistaken, in April this year.
They both agreed. It's going to be a fun fight. But man, I wanted to see Max because Max was on a tear again. And I don't know how he got injured. I thought he wasn't sparring with anybody.
Well, I actually don't have too many details on that. But at the same time, I don't want to see, Alex has beaten him twice. So
Yeah, but it's, the second fight was absolutely debatable. Absolutely debatable. Right. And there were no clear-cut contenders. And nobody deserves it more than Max. He came back, he murdered Qatar. He had a war with Yair Rodriguez that he won.
Yes.
And he's earned that title. If anything, I would have loved to see Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega.
Yes,
that would have been
amazing. That would have been really nice. Yeah, that would have been crazy.
That would be amazing. And guys, you've got guys like Giga Chikadze waiting in the wings. And we've got Edson Barboza, and that entire featherweight division is still stacked.
Right. In fact, Giga Chikadze is just fighting this week. So,
he's fighting on this Sunday.
Yeah,
his fight is coming up.
We're really looking forward to that. But what we are really looking forward to are the best knockouts of 2021. Mystic Chips and me's Superhuman Kamra are going to be discussing some really kick-ass knockouts, some of our best in the year 2021. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
If you're a cricket fan, check out Edges and Sledges, India's favorite cricket podcast.
The podcast focuses on Indian cricket, the IPL, and has a ton of banter both on and off the field.
We talk about the week's biggest cricket stories with current and ex-international cricketers, coaches, or sometimes just between us.
And it's hosted by me, DJ.
Me, Varun.
And me, Ashwin.
New episodes release every week.
You can catch us on the IVM Podcast's website, app,
or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Check out the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast.
Welcome back to the Fighting G.O.A.T. I hope you enjoyed all those messages because now what's to come is even more dhamakedar. We've got a great segment. We always look forward to this. In any sport, you always want the dhamakas. In cricket, you want to look at the sixes and the sevens. Sevens to hai nahi kuch, par sixes to hai. Sixes and fours, my math is always off the radar. But you always want to see the slam dunks in basketball. You want to see the touchdowns in American football. You want to see the crazy free kicks curling into the goalpost, not into the goalpost, going into the goal, not hitting the goalpost. You want to see the fun moments of any sport. आजकल मैं पागल हो गया. I think ये ठंडी में hoodie पहन के पागल हो गया. But anyway, my point is, we all look forward to the knockouts. We look at the knockout moments in the sport. We look at those amazing moments where you see, what attracts a lot of people. Like a lot of people were attracted to the sport because of the knockouts. You saw Chuck Liddell getting, knocking people out. You saw Rampage Jackson knocking people out. You saw guys in Pride, Mirko Krokop and his head kicks and Fedor with his overhand rights.
Absolutely.
And we saw Anderson Silva doing his magic. And we saw a lot of knockouts which drew a lot of people to the sport. So this is a segment that we would like to call the 2021's greatest knockouts in the sports of MMA and boxing. It's going to be a long list. So guys, let's go.
Well, number one on my list.
Hey, number 10, we're going to go downwards. Number 10.
Okay. No worries. So basically you go 5, I go 5. As simple as that. Number 5 on my list, I feel, is Sandhagen versus Edgar.
Dude, Sandhagen Edgar happened this year?
No, Sandhagen Edgar was in 2021.
I was mistaken. I thought it was in 2020. Okay.
No, it was 2021. It was in February 2021. Sandhagen versus Edgar is number 5 for me as one of my best knockout because it was pretty much the start of the year. And Edgar had never been knocked out except for the Brian Ortega one. And oh my God, Sandhagen came out of nowhere and pulled off that beautiful flying knee.
Dude, that jumping knee was something, man.
The flying knee went flush. He didn't even look. He just turned around and he knew it's over.
And the fun thing is that it came laterally. So basically he was moving sideways and backwards and then he jumped at an angle coming forward.
Correct.
And that's what made it so unique and beautiful. It was a very well thought out.
It was very precise. In fact,
it reminded me of it reminded me of the knee that Yoel Romero landed on Chris Weidman. Which cut and busted him open.
Oh my God, that was. But Yoel Romero is one of those violent, freaky creatures that you actually get scared of. Sandhagen is, looks like just like a next door guy that you can just hang.
He could be your accountant. He could easily be the accountant.
Yeah.
Imagine doing your taxes and killing you.
Killing you both ways, basically.
Oh, man. Killing you softly, literally.
But yeah, number 5 on my list is Sandhagen versus Edgar, February 2021. Massive knee. And the poor Edgar, always gracious. But man, he was just outclassed in that particular fight.
All right. My pick for number 5 knockout will not be in MMA. It's actually in boxing.
Wow.
So I'm going to pick Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, versus the Bronze God, Deontay Wilder. Where Tyson Fury took him to the 11th round in such a back and forth contest where Tyson was knocked down himself in that fight earlier.
Yes.
To come back and knock out Deontay Wilder and clap off a 3 this is his 3rd victory against Deontay Wilder and has finished the entire era of his fighting with the Bronze Idol. And it was a beautiful knockout the way it happened in the 11th round. Dug deep while he was hurt and he did it, dude.
In fact, the speciality of the Gypsy King is, you think he's not hitting hard, but man, when you hear those shots and those gloves look so tiny in front of him, and he goes,
he's a huge guy, man.
Boom. And
he's 6'7".
My God, 6'7". Maybe
and full dad bod. Like all jiggly stomach and this and that thing. He's one guy you don't want to make fun of. People
but that dad
will say Abe mote or something to him.
But that kind of dad bod has taken all the body shots from all the fighters across the globe, and he's still there.
Dude, honestly, I'll tell you something. I have a stomach as well. Okay, that happens. When the minute I take a shot to the body, it's like wearing sweaters. But
Yes.
sweaters, if you wear 5 sweaters, no, sweaters take the impact of any shots.
Yes,
It's like
it
wearing
does.
sweaters. It's literally like, Roy Nelson used to get
Yeah.
hit to the body all the time. And Junior Dos Santos in an interview said you can't get to the bloody liver
Yeah.
because he's got so much of covering on it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the fat helps.
It does, and it really helped guys like Mark Hunt and all. They were also the bigger guys, and they took it. He took so many brutal shots to the body, etc., and they just were managing to take it. Roy Nelson is the best example.
Best example of a dad bod, but man, that guy can knock people out. Like, he can knock people out. That's it's absolutely beautiful.
It is. It's a sweet science of boxing, and you saw that amazing moment when Deontay Wilder went down against Tyson Fury. But that's my number 5. Is in the world of boxing.
That's crazy. My number 4 was in the month of April 2021 when Usman knocked out Masvidal.
Oh my God. That was something else.
That was, it was special. It was vicious. It laid a lot of things to rest when the entire MMA world said Usman doesn't have knockout power.
It does. Yeah, it did.
Masvidal has never been knocked out, and multiple things happening. But I feel that was one of the most vicious knockouts. Also because between the rounds, Masvidal's corner had put some water on his head.
Oh yeah, it made that effect happen.
And that knockout actually made that effect of all the water just coming out.
And, oh man, that photographer had a good time. I used to shoot MMA. I used to love it when there used to be, the effect of the water flying off.
Yes. So
it was like in Tufan, where they put so much of water in Farhan's hair. Every time he moved only, it was like one shh.
But yes, so for me, April 2021, Usman versus Masvidal was one of the top knockouts. At number 4, that's my pick. And it was vicious. It was crazy. Usman sealed the deal out there. And that is why he is the welterweight king.
All right. My pick at number 4 would be the debut of Michael Chandler versus Dan Hooker.
Oh my God.
It was a very, very highly awaited matchup. He was a crossover champion from Bellator coming into the UFC. And we've seen a lot of champs come in from different organizations and fall flat because of, the rules changing or was too late in their life. We saw Ben Askren came and won, and then he went on a losing skid. And Michael Chandler came in with a lot of hype. He's 34 years old. He knew he had only a couple of years to make his mark in the sport. And that he brought that urgency to that fight that against Dan Hooker. We saw it in the way he moved. We saw it in the way his will, and that he dropped his hand. The minute Dan Hooker dropped his right, that left hook, he faked the right, came over with that left hook and dropped him.
Man, that was flush. That was flush.
Got him clean, landed a couple of shots on the ground, and that was a clean knockout. What a way to kick off.
That was beautiful.
Michael Chandler.
In fact, Michael Chandler is so smart. He said in his interview that he just has 2 or 3 years and he's only aiming for the gold. So that is what he's going to do.
I can't believe Chandler's fought 3 times this year. He made his debut against Hooker. He lost the belt. He lost the belt opportunity against Charles Oliveira. And had the greatest fight in the history of the world with Gaethje.
Yes. Oh my God. Which was the fight
All in 1 year. All in 1 year.
Man, what a prized possession. That crossover, I think, was one of the most perfect decisions by the UFC as well as Michael Chandler.
Best decision. Whoever made it. Michael Chandler is such a stud, such a warrior.
Absolutely. Can you imagine Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor sometime this year?
Dude, it's gonna... See, I'll tell you something. Conor, I love Conor, but his days as a champ are done. I really, honestly, let's be clearly honest. Because now, you've got guys like Islam Makhachev in the meeting wings.
Yes.
You've got guys like Charles Oliveira, who's not giving up that belt anytime soon.
Right.
And honestly, look, dude, anybody, Somesh, you and I talked about it at length. Fluke chances can happen. The guys like Conor who have that one-punch knockout power, you can't rule it out.
Correct.
You cannot rule it out. He can land that shot against Charles, and Charles, Wesley sees only 50% of what is coming to him. That's what makes him even scarier. With him seeing only 50%.
And that's what he said. He just hits the guy in the middle.
Correct. He says, beech mein jo dikhta na wahi marne ka. It's like shooter box style. He's like, it doesn't matter. Hit him with anything. Jo milega usko maar. That's why he goes like one marauder, na? Sab dekhta hai. Knees, elbows. His accuracy is all over the place.
Yeah.
But he manages to hit you and he manages to scare you enough to hit you that much.
Absolutely.
No, but
Absolutely.
so Conor McGregor, if he, like, okay, he can easily tag anybody on one and in his given night. He can knock anybody out on. I don't want that to happen anymore. I just want the fun fights for him now. Make the millions. Make it red panty night for everybody.
Absolutely. And I think Chandler deserves it, especially after that banging 2021 when he came in and he's put on 3 spectacular performances, as well as the fight of the year or decade or whatever.
Can you imagine
want to call
welterweight Chandler versus Conor? Chandler stronger.
Not welterweight. I would prefer lightweight. I mean, 155 is where he belongs.
Conor's coming to welter.
You know, you can't really say with Conor because he says welter, suddenly he's like lightweight title fight. You know, so
title fight मिला तो फिर lightweight जाएगा.
Correct.
Title fight के लिए तो जाएगा किधर नहीं. अरे तेरे को भी title fight मिला तू भी bantamweight जाएगा.
Absolutely. Let's get down now to number 3. Number 3 for me happened in the month of May 2021 when Jiří Procházka knocked out Dominic Reyes.
Oh my God, that was a good fight.
And that for me was an
I think that was knockout of the year.
I mean,
I think it was the UFC's pick for knockout of the year.
Wow. I didn't know that. But that for me is number 3, primarily because Dominic Reyes itself is a fighter that moves in a very unorthodox manner. He's a fellow who is not conventional. He moves a little differently. He's facing someone like Jiří Procházka, who you cannot really predict because
Jiří Procházka moves.
Switches stances. He's got these long limbs.
He's a herky-jerky style, you know?
Very, very herky-jerky. He went on to hurt Dominic Reyes and ended the show with a spinning elbow.
Dude, that point of his elbow has pierced through his skull permanently.
And that is what changed the ball game for me. And I was like, wow, you know, this guy is something else.
You know, Somesh, when you describe that entire thing now, the way it went down, it sent a chill through my body because that's the problem with Jiří Procházka. You know, we talk about the fun of the knockouts and all that. And when you talk about somebody like Jiří Procházka, it becomes cold. It's suddenly, ladies and gentlemen, this sport, you know, as entertaining as it is sometimes hard to watch. And the way Dominic Reyes went down after that elbow was not easy. He fell very awkwardly on his neck. He was badly knocked out. We've still not heard from him publicly in that sense. Like, we all know he's doing fine and stuff, but you never know the long-term effects of a shot like that. He took a lot of punishment in that fight. And the way he went down was brutal. That elbow came out of nowhere. It was horrifying the way he went down. And Procházka's got his straight face. He lives in the jungle. This is what he does for a living. And I think, so, you know, before everybody realizes, as entertaining as these knockouts are, they are also brutal.
Yes.
Especially guys who do it in Procházka. And, you know, in number 3 position, just as Somesh said, Jiří Procházka versus Dominic Reyes, my number 3 is the capping of the trilogy between Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou.
Oh my God, that was beautiful.
Did I just steal your number 1 pick by any chance?
Almost.
My number 1 pick is in boxing, so don't worry. No, so when Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou fought, this is the second fight, I think. Sorry, second fight, not the third.
Yeah, the second fight.
The first fight was a clinic that Stipe put on. It was very early in Francis Ngannou's career. He was much more raw. But after he moved to his new camp, he became a very different, very well-rounded fighter. You saw him jabbing for the first time. Like, I saw him use a jab. It was not just his mad power that we've seen against Curtis Blades, where it was so sloppy that any seasoned striker would have caught him coming in. He looked a lot sharper. He looked a lot more calm, more patient, held his composure, and more importantly, showed good cardio, showed good defense, good wrestling defense. But when that left hook, right hook combination came, and he was lights out. Stipe fell backwards and had his leg and knee trapped.
Yeah, it was almost like a Krokop.
Correct, Krokop Gonzaga. The way Krokop Gonzaga, only Krokop was far worse. The way he fell back, far worse. I mean, that was the definition of your lights being out. Correct. 1 point second. But the way Stipe went down, that was also a brutal knockout and put Francis Ngannou in that position at number 3. for 2021's best knockouts.
Wow, that's crazy. That was definitely also on my list. However,
Dude, coming up, end of the month, it's the heavyweight title again.
Absolutely.
We've got Gan versus Nagano coming up.
Gan versus Nagano's on, and also they have made Tai Tuivasa versus the Black Beast, which is also coming up.
It's on the same card?
No, it's not on the same card. It is, I think, going to be in Houston, where the Black Beast is from.
That's his hometown. Man.
Yes.
It's going to be awesome. Good.
Right. So
awesome. So number 2, Mr. Somesh.
My number 2 pick is, of course, one of my favorite MMA fighters to have graced the octagon. It was, in fact, in the year Jan 2021 when Poirier took on McGregor.
Oh, yeah. This is depressing.
And McGregor got knocked out, and it was a clinic of a performance by Poirier. He was moving forward, and it was that short right that just got McGregor clean, and it was lights out for him. Of course, I didn't enjoy that much because I'm a huge McGregor fan. But if you speak from a knockout perspective, if you speak from a knockout perspective, I think Poirier McGregor, Jan 2021, which was our first pay-per-view event in the year 2021, was a beautiful clinic. If I'm not mistaken, I think it happened in Abu Dhabi, if I'm not wrong.
I think so. It was Abu Dhabi. I think
that particular card. And it was absolutely beautiful when Conor McGregor got knocked out with that clinic of a performance by Dustin Poirier. So that comes at number 2 for me.
That's an awesome fight. But it was so sad to see, Conor McGregor, in that fight, in number 2 fight against Poirier, was very respectful. He was very Dustin's a great fighter, and he took his hot sauce also in the veins and all that. But man, how he turned around the narrative in the third. He started talking trash. He pissed him off again. I don't know what's going on. Those men are destined to fight because Poirier has now lost the belt, chance of the belt twice. Lost against Khabib and both sadly in the same way. It's like a replay. Only I feel Charles did a better job because he busted him up on the feet as well.
With the rear naked.
No, but Charles beat him up on the feet as well. Man,
clearly.
He was hurting him on the feet. And Poirier hit him with everything and Charles didn't go down. Dude. That's correct. That's a dangerous man right there. But coming to the entire thing, it was sad affair. Like I was upset that, it was not a war. I expected a 5-round fight.
Yes.
But sadly, that didn't happen. So now moving on to my number 2 pick is I'm moving to the women's division where it was a showdown between Valentina Shivchenko versus Jessica Andraj.
Wow.
It was the second fight between them where Valentina Shivchenko, people thought that this is going to be Valentina Shevchenko's toughest matchup till date. It is a new Jessica Andraj who was knocking girls out like she was Mike Tyson. She has the same short, stocky approach, the way she swings her hooks, and she lands them with that ferocious accuracy as well.
And she gets in the pocket and she kind of lands those body shots.
Dude, I still believe she got the best of Rose Namajunas. Rose Namajunas, I've never seen her that busted up against anybody. Andraj beat her up, dude. She beat her up. And even Rose, you could tell from her face. First fight, she got knocked out. Second fight, she won by split. Like a hair's decision.
Very close.
I still believe Andraj won that fight because based on, if you look at it based on damage, come on. Rose's face she was wearing that damage.
Battered. She was battered.
And the one who battered her, Valentina Shivchenko, took her down, put it. You know how hard it is to keep somebody like Andraj down who's so physically strong?
Correct.
She put her in a mounted crucifix, which is one of the toughest positions to put somebody in. Because the kind of control and top pressure you need to keep, firstly, to get into the mounted crucifix is tough against somebody like Andraj, who's a BJJ black belt and is such a strong grappler herself. She caught her, she was in top position, and those elbows were brutality.
Man, that was such a good fight. And it really sealed the deal for Shivchenko. I mean, she sealed the deal with
There's nobody else now.
There is nobody else. You're absolutely
Dude, I told you my prediction. And the mystic is right about this. Champ. Valentina Shivchenko will take the belt from the bantamweight champ. And also congratulations to Juliana Pena.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense to her. I mean, she's awesome. She did one of the most unexpected things that whoever bet money on Juliana Pena that night, which is including me, Thank you. Has made a couple of million easy.
Easily. It's been much better than even a crypto investment at the moment.
Before we go to number one, what do you predict for the year? And I never asked you this. I mean, one is a number one is a finality. So what do you predict in this year? I've already told you my predictions. I've told you my predictions, so I want to hear from you now.
I think we had a chat about this. We had that nice little conversation, I think, in a previous episode where...
But we can always revisit.
I think, Conor McGregor will slowly start fading out in 2022.
Don't say such things.
Because if he can't get past Chandler, I think it's going to be...
Dude, not a lot of people can't get past Chandler. Chandler is difficult. You can't. He's always a wild card. No, correct. That's an unfair. If he can't get past somebody like Nate Diaz tomorrow, yes, I'll say he's done. If he can't get past Nate Diaz. Actually, no, Nate Diaz also is a wild card.
We don't know. Because, Nate Diaz almost beat Leon Edwards. So...
No, according to Pride rules, he did.
He won. He did.
He won. I'm sorry. He cracked you. He rocked you. He raised his hand after the fight. Khatam. Crowd cheered. No, ho gaya. Khatam. Nahi, you lost. Sorry, boss. Sorry. Sorry. Two belt. Today. And today belt. Today.
Oh,
but
God.
I won 4.5 rounds. Today. Hara. I know it. You lost. You son of a bitch. Sorry, Rocky, man. We love you, Leon Edwards. You're an awesome fighter. We're just kidding around.
Yeah.
No, but Chal. Okay. Do you agree with my assessment at least? Do you agree with the fact that we might see Valentina Shivchenko become a dual champ?
Absolutely, yes. I absolutely agree. I also think Francis Ngannou will leave the UFC.
That though, I agree completely. I think that's going to happen when I feel Cyril Gane is going to be the next champ. He is going to be the next champ.
I hope not, because I prefer Francis Ngannou as a champion compared to Cyril Gane.
I can understand why.
But let's see how that goes. But moving on to our number one
slot
pick. Number one slot, if you ask me.
Let's go.
April 2021, I feel when Rose Namajunas knocked out Weili Zhang. Is my number one pick of the year.
Cheating. It's depressing for me. I love Zhang Weili.
No, I love Weili Zhang too, but it's just the fact that
it was a flash knockout though.
A flash knockout.
No, you know what? Screw me, dude. Who am I to say anything? That was a awesome fight.
Yeah, it was crazy. And that for me is a game-changing moment when Rose Namajunas, who most people say doesn't have knockout power, etc., Weili Zhang is going to come there and blow her lights out, and boom, that left kick to the face, and her lights were out. She was out. So even when the referee kind of held her when Weili Zhang was getting up, she was so wobbly. She was
out
wobbly.
of it, man. She was very out of it. She was knocked out clean. It was, and it was interesting the way that kick went up. It went up underneath the guard. So basically, normally when you have your arms up like that, I hope they show the video when we're doing this.
It kind of comes in this gap,
It normally kicks come around. It comes around your hand. So it hits you while you're blocking or when you drop your hand. Most kicks come that way. Her kick came right up the center of the guard. It was literally like a front kick to the face, but it wasn't. It was a very strange, very beautifully well-landed kick, man. Trevor Whitman, his work with Rose Namajunas has changed the game completely.
Absolutely. In fact, Trevor Whitman's work with Usman also has been perfect.
Dude, Gaethje, Usman, Rose, he's been working with some of the best in the world.
Absolutely.
So that's your number one.
That's my number one pick.
Well, I'm going to cap off the year with number one, with one of the greatest boxers of all time to ever graced the ring, is Saul Canelo Alvarez beating Caleb Plant to become the undisputed. He is now the undisputed super middleweight king of all boxing. Considering that there are so many belts in boxing, he is now the super undisputed king of the middleweights. Of the super middleweights, he's the undisputed king. And he did it in such incredible style. He battered Caleb Plant for 11 rounds.
Oh my God.
And in that 11th round, he knocked him down twice. He hurt him badly and he finished the show. And what a show it was. I mean, Canelo Alvarez has reached a different level of stardom now. He is
absolutely, yes.
He is now the
Absolutely,
GOAT
yes.
of boxing. He's gone up to different levels, and in that super middleweight division, he goes up and down his divisions, of course, depending on where he's going to fight. But he's just so damn good.
Well,
And
he's so damn good.
I find
and
it insulting that guys like Jake Paul even, okay, you know what? You want to do your fun time pass now, but don't call out bloody Canelo, man. It's just dumb.
no ways. In
That's
fact,
just dumb.
Canelo is at the moment saying that he is much, much, much better than Floyd. So if we have a prime Canelo, which is like right now, versus
man.
Floyd in his prime, Canelo said he would easily take him out. And
Dude,
it's
you
a
know,
very
that's-
flat statement. He said, I will take this guy out.
That's actually, you never know. But the thing is, we can never know because that's
We
not
can
how the
never
world works, sadly.
Yes. Yeah.
You got to face who you face when you get the chance to face them.
Absolutely, yes.
So,
Absolutely, yes.
It's like guys saying, oh, I would have beaten Anderson Silva now. I'm like, obviously you'll beat him now. Abhi to 60 saal ka aadmi hai. You'll beat him now. What is that? And Mayweather was so good in that fight, though. I remember that fight. Canelo Alvarez got pieced up strategically.
Outclassed. He got outclassed.
Man, Mayweather in his prime was so good. So good. And well, that concludes our awesome. But you know what? I have one honorable mention that was not included in the top 5.
Okay.
Was a great fight between Shane Burgos and Edson Barboza.
Oh,
Where
yes.
It was a stand-up war, and I remember Edson Barboza's shin had splint, and he was bleeding all over. And despite that bleeding, he was still kicking him, and he landed that right hand, which was such a weird reaction because normally you see that from a body shot. When somebody gets hit in the liver, you count back 5, 4, 3, 2, and then you go down.
Correct.
You don't see that with a headshot. You don't see that with a strike to the face. And we saw that Burgos, suddenly his lights just dimmed and he fell backwards. Remember that?
Yes. That was such a freak knockout, where Burgos, like he ate the right hand.
Correct.
It was like a 3-second delay, and then he just kind of slowly crumbled and he went towards the fence and he kind of
started backing up. Even the commentators didn't realize it. None of us realized it.
Yeah.
They were like, kya ho raha hai? Suddenly, oh shit, delayed reaction.
Delayed reaction, yeah. But we've never seen that earlier. We never know how it, what happened, etc. But yeah, that was a freak knockout. Man. Seriously.
That really was. But any other honorable mentions, Mr. Kamra? I've got another one as well, man. It's my favorite. I mean, Derek Lewis, the way he knocked out Curtis Blades. Jesus. Derek Lewis versus Blades.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't you remember that uppercut from hell which Blades ate and then he just slumped back?
He just froze. He froze in that position. And, I don't even know because it was, when we saw the fight again, if you remember, Blades was going for the takedown and
correct.
The black beast was showing his uppercut. He was showing his uppercut. And I don't know why he didn't read it because if that connected, which it did later, oh my God, Blades
because
just
he was already
froze.
Earlier, because I think Blades had to look for the takedown because on the feet, every time he got close, Derek Lewis was hitting him. Either it was with hooks, left hands, right hands. So he's like, let's avoid the pain and let's just, try to take it. Because that is the strategy to control Derek. You take him to the ground, you tire him out, let the blood fill up in his arms so that he can't swing anymore. So he tried the minute he shot apart, that uppercut landed, man. God,
it was clean. It was clean. But it was
nasty.
It was so scary because Blades just froze. And it was not really, it was more of a shortish kind of uppercut.
Yeah.
Blades froze and just collapsed behind. Oh my God. That was...
Man, that was something. That was
violent. That was violent.
And we've had such an awesome year in the world of MMA and the UFC. And we've had such great knockouts in 2021. But I think we've got a couple of good things coming up as well this year to look forward to.
Yes.
The UFC's launched the calendar now till March and it's looking good.
Absolutely. In fact, when we are back after the short commercial break, we're going to be speaking on the next event, which is on January 16th, only on Sony 10. It's going to be Giga Chikadze taking on Calvin Kattar in the featherweight division. So, ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Eventually, you'll see the end of your childhood.
Get accustomed to womanhood.
Enjoy the experience of sisterhood.
Might get to wifehood.
Or not. Choose motherhood?
Or not. You'll learn to define your personhood,
Earn a livelihood,
change the neighborhood.
and get rid of the falsehood that life post academia is easy.
So join me, Ritasha,
And me, Ayushi,
on a journey from station starting point
to station, what now?
next station, Pudin station, and hopefully Agla station, adulthood.
Fresh episodes out every Thursday.
Welcome back to the Fighting G.O.A.T. You've been listening to Arjun, aka Mystic Chips, and Somesh, the Superhuman Kamra. And we just finished an awesome commercial break. And a segment before that was the amazing knockouts of the year 2021 in both boxing and mixed martial arts. We had some amazing, insane knockouts. We had our picks, the top 5 picks between Somesh and I. And of course, we had some honorable mentions as well. But guys, like we've said many times, we give you our picks, we give you our best picks. These are not the rankings in the world. These are not the rankings on any social media platforms. So if you've got a contrary opinion, please come in, step in, and give us your answers for your chance to win some awesome Fighting G.O.A.T merchandise. We've shown you t-shirts. I'll even give you this hoodie. I will write the Fighting G.O.A.T and I will give it to you. I promise. I will write mere haath se likha hua the Fighting G.O.A.T.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please take part. Have a conversation with us. Tell us what are your favorite knockouts for the year 2021. It could be boxing. It could be MMA. It could be the UFC. It could be one championship, any organization. And we would love to hear from you.
Exactly. And Somesh and I are, in fact, in this year, we're not going to tell you when it's going to be released on social media, but we're going to do a dream tournament, a dream fantasy tournament.
Holy shit, yes.
A fantasy tournament, which we're going to do in every weight class. So you got to get your 8 picks and do a tournament style matchup where we're going to see who wins for some awesome prizes. It's yet to come up. So stay tuned to our social media handles. We'll be putting out more and more details very soon.
Yes, absolutely.
What's coming up, Mr. Kamra?
But speaking of which, UFC Fight Night happening at the Apex. We have extremely good fights. We've got Brandon Royval, who is back on the card.
He's the best.
We have Caitlyn Chuckie versus Jennifer Maia as the co-main event of the evening. But
dude, that's a good fight. Jennifer Maia is
crazy.
Awesome. Jennifer Maia is a very tough fight for anybody. She's a great BJJ practitioner. She's got good hands and she's a big girl. But so is Caitlyn Chuckie.
Caitlyn Chuckie too.
That size, she's got that range, that reach. It's going to be a fun fight.
Absolutely. But the main event of the evening is what we will be speaking about and predicting between Calvin Kattar and Giga Chikadze.
Oh man, Calvin Kattar and Giga Chikadze. Calvin Kattar coming off a very big bad loss to Max Holloway, took his time to recover. And it took over a year and a half to recover from that fight. But we saw shades of a lot of good things in the fight. One thing we know for sure is Calvin Kattar can take a shot. He can take some punishment. He can take a lot of punishment, but when it comes to dishing out punishment to the body, nobody does it better than Giga Chikadze.
Yes.
That his kickboxing first approach is awesome. And it'll be fun to see what strategy Calvin Kattar uses. Does he grapple with a man like that? It's a 5-round fight. Maybe we have to see how the pace of this fight goes.
Absolutely. But Mystic Chips, if you needed to have all this analysis wrapped up in a box and make a decision.
Sorry, you're talking to the wrong person. Hey, ask me closer to the fight now.
No, but we don't record closer to the fight.
Okay, fine.
Giga Chikadze, with his kickboxing, with his vicious body kicks, versus someone like Calvin Kattar, who's coming in with the experience of fighting top-level fighters and obviously Max Holloway.
I'm going to go with Calvin Kattar via decision.
Ooh, interesting. So you think he's going to hold his kicks and take him down and grapple with him?
I think Calvin knows. The thing is that when you have such a dominant weapon from a challenger, when you see a weapon from a challenger, it's like saying, okay, but it's two-sided. It's like saying, okay, we all know Francis Ngannou is going to throw his overhand right. Now, how you stop that overhand right is a different story.
Yes.
How you stop it is a different story. Same thing with Giga Chikadze. You know his kicks are coming. You know that left kick is coming. When he gets into the southpaw stance, that left kick to the liver is coming to you.
Yes.
So you know that's coming. So he's going to prepare. And somebody like Calvin Kattar, who's a very intelligent, durable fighter, will certainly be ready for it. He will know what to do.
Interesting. That's a very interesting analysis. I am going to go with Giga Chikadze, who I feel is going to be smarter in the fight.
Hey, can I change?
He may take his time. He may not rush into it. But round 3, round 4, he will look for a finish. So
also, we have not seen Giga get hit.
We've not seen him get it. Yeah.
So you never know how he reacts. You never know how he reacts to being on the ground.
Absolutely.
Or being pushed up against the cage. A lot of kickboxers, as good as they are, as free as they are with their throwing their kicks and shots, 4 minutes of grappling suddenly changes the whole equation.
Absolutely right. In fact, I feel in case, by chance, Calvin Kattar catches Giga's leg, I think the elbows are going to come into play. Giga is going to dig those elbows in and make him pay for catching those kicks. So that is...
I can't wait, man. Either way, it's brutality.
That's how I feel this fight will go. So for me, it's going to be Giga Chikadze. For Mystic Chips, it's going to be Calvin Kattar. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to win some awesome Fighting G.O.A.T merchandise, please make your picks, tag us, hashtag us on all social media platforms. My Instagram ID is somesh.kamra. And on Twitter, it's somesh_kamra. Mystic Chips, what are yours?
So on Instagram, I'm at Arjun Chips. And on Twitter, I'm at the Mystic Chips. So guys, tag us, hashtag us, tag IVM Studios for your chance to win some awesome merchandise and also get into the conversation, get into part of the conversation. We had a great episode about knockouts. So give us your top knockouts for your chance to win some t-shirts.
Absolutely. Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it from the hosts of the Fighting G.O.A.T. We'll see you same time next week only on ivmpodcast.com. Before that, stay safe, get the jab if you haven't got your second dose as yet, get the booster, wear your mask, be safe and take care of yourself. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, only on the Fighting G.O.A.T.
पेश खिदमत है आपकी शान में हमारे अंजुमन से. Hi, I am Sadaf.
And I'm Arshit. खाने का इतिहास, economics, policy, psychology, सब है मेन्यू पे.
Only on the Nankali podcast every Wednesday. सिर्फ IVM podcast app या वेबसाइट पर या फिर जहां से भी आप अपने पॉडकास्ट सुनते हो.
Working Monday to Friday glued to your chair making you feel dull? Worry not. Get your 5-minute weekly dose of travel around the world with postcards from nowhere. Join me every Thursday as I explore the strange, obscure, and fascinating parts of the world and bring out facets of travel you may not have thought of before. You can find us on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you get your podcast from.